Hello everyone, so I want to welcome you to this video, and if you've ever experienced a moment when you're running Facebook ads and you see your ads and your cost per click or your cost per acquisition going through the roof, then maybe I have a solution for you that could answer this problem. So what I want to discuss here today is how to find targeting that your competitors are not using through the marketing API, and I'm going to show you and explain you what it is. And this technique that we used, this kind of hack, on average brought us 2 to 5x the return on advertising spent on cold traffic. So people who have never heard of the business we were advertising, we were generating 2 to 5 ROI on these ads, and it doesn't require any coding skills or none of that, and it's very cool. So stay with me. So what the problem is right now with Facebook ads is that there are a lot of advertisers, and what it means that, well, if there are a lot of advertisers, many people are competing on the same interest and the same using the same targeting that you are using, and it leads to increase cost per click because there's only a limited supply. I'm gonna go into depth into what the supply is on Facebook, but right now this is really a brief overview. And so when you go to the audience targeting section, what Facebook will show you is just a few targeting options. So if I show you here, when you decide to create an ad, this is a demo ad. So when you're in the placements, you see detailed targeting and you write, let's say, tennis, because you're selling tennis apparel or whatever. You see all these suggested targeting. But however, there are maybe 20 to 25 suggested targeting options, but these targeting options are used and seen and shown to every other competitor in your niche. So anyone that types tennis here in the detailed targeting section will see these targeting options. And so everyone is going to be using these targeting solutions, and so that's going to drive the price up of these bidding. So everyone is seeing the same potential audiences. So as a result, if you bid on the same audiences, the higher the cost is going to be, because you're going to pay higher CPC and higher CPA. And you and your competitors are stuck using the same cold targeting audiences, and it is really driving the prices through the roof. And really, Facebook is the only winner here, because you and your competitors are paying more to show your ads. Why? Because simply you pay per impression. But if more people are asking to show you their own ads to the same type of people, well, price is going to be up. And if you're deciding to choose and to find audiences on Facebook, which audiences you could target, there is a tool that Facebook offers you, which is the Facebook Audience Insight, but it's very limited and often shows interest that cannot be targeted. So it's not that very good. So how does it work? How the Facebook marketplace work, and how does advertising on Facebook works? So basically, Facebook's auction place is like any other marketplace. There's demand and then there is a supply. And the supply on Facebook, so the places where you can show your own ads, are limited. There you cannot go above the limit that they offer you. So supply is very limited, and if there are more advertisers, and right now there are millions and millions of advertisers on Facebook, so if there are more advertisers, well, the only way to satisfy the demand required by the advertisers is to increase prices. If we see a simple graph of the supply and demand, it represents like this. On the vertical axis, you see the price. On the horizontal axis, you see the quantity. And the higher the price, the higher the supply, and the higher the quantity, the higher the quantity is going to be offered by the supply. But if prices go higher, the demand is going to be lower. You can see it by the horizontal axis, the quantity axis. The higher the price, the lower the quantity is going to be for the demand. But the higher the price, the more supply is going to be offered. So in Facebook, how it works is that the supply is fixed. There is only a limited space for you to advertise, so the supply is very limited. And the demand matches the supply at the price where it crosses. But if let's say if there are more advertisers on the marketplace, what it means increased demand. So we move to the blue demand to the purple demand. So it means that there are more demand. And the only way for Facebook to match that, to match the required quantity asked by advertisers, is to increase the price. And the only way that is to move from the red line to the, let's say, brown line, brown, red, dark red line. So right now, that's really what's happening. Many people are advertising, many people are targeting the same interest, and the only way for Facebook to show all the ads to the people is to increase pricing, to reduce the demand. So basically, people lose. What's the solution for it? Well, the solution is to use Facebook's marketing API to use audiences that are not accessible to mainstream advertisers. These audiences are reserved for Facebook, for developers and or advertisers with very large budgets who are personally helped by Facebook's employees. And you can access them yourself by just doing a few extra steps that I'm going to show you in this video, which is 100% compliant with Facebook's policies. So you have only access to these audiences only if you're spending big money on Facebook. And if you're spending big money on Facebook, essentially what's going to happen is that a Facebook employee is going to reach out to you and to personally help you. So when I was working in big agencies, what we do was that we had a direct line of communication with Facebook employees, so we could get feedback on our ads, and this is the tool that they were showing us how to use to find potential audience that other competitors were not using. So the best way to do this is I'm going to show you how to do it right now. The first thing on how to access hidden targeting is to create a Facebook ad by by going to the link. So every links are going to be in the description, so you can easily access them. So you have to go to developers.facebook.com/apps. It is, I believe, this one. You're going to land on something like this. And first thing you gotta do is to click on My App and click on Create App. You're going to name your app however you want it. So I'm going to say hidden targeting. And then you create app ID. You got to complete the security check. Select all the bridges. It's going to be different for you, of course. Then you click on submit. Alright, so the next step once you're here is you select Implement Marketing API. You select this and you click on Confirm. Wait a few seconds for it to load. Okay, now you're in. The next step now is to go back here and you need to create an account and select, we've done step number 2. Now you need to request an access token, and you do it by clicking on this link. So it's link number 2 in the description. developers.facebook.com/tool/explorer. So you're going to be on this page. The first thing you got to do is once you land here, you select hidden targeting or however you called it, and you click on here on this, you click on get app token. And now you're going to see a long string of numbers and letters and whatever this is. This is your access token. So you need to use this line of code and keep it because we're going to use it in the next step. You need that line of code. So the next thing is, use the Facebook Marketing API. You go then to this link. So this link is customizable. You need to customize it to your needs. So basically it's the Facebook Marketing API, and all you got to change for you and to adapt it to your own niche, to your own business, is one you see here, the ad interest, which is tennis. This is an example for me. All you got to do is essentially to change tennis to whatever you're targeting. So you're targeting, let's say, fitness, you would change it to fitness. It's better to keep broad interest. So Facebook can show you many more recommendations. And all you got to do is to change that. So let's say you would change it, you would switch it to fitness. And here after token equals your access token, you have to remove your access token and replace it with the line of code that is in here. access token. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So let's click on that. Okay. Now I take the access token and I'm going to remove this and add the access token. And now what you're saying is all the hidden audiences that you can target on Facebook that are revealed and that are similar to the ad interest that you entered. So if you enter tennis, you would see all interests that are similar or related to tennis that you could target and that you could use as targeting to test your ads. And you will see a bunch of these targetings. You can see there are plenty of them. There are literally thousands of them. Thousands of potential targetings that you could use to discover if these are working audiences. So you can see here the ID doesn't really matter. The name is tennis, that's an audience. You see the audience size here, and you see how you can get to tennis. You can get the path interest, sports and others, sports tennis. Let's say we're gonna move a bit further down the line, and okay, here name Women's Tennis Association. Audience size is over close to 4 million. And that's a targeting you could use if you're into, let's say, women tennis apparel. You could target these to test it out. There are many things. Jamie Murray, I don't know, maybe he's a tennis player and he's categorized as an athlete here. So let's say you're gonna go through all these interests possibilities, but of course if you don't know any of them, just Google it to see if it matches your potential audience. So I don't know who Jamie Murray is. I'm gonna click on Google to find out who he is, and apparently he's a tennis professional. So this guy could be interesting to target his audience. Why? Because he's a tennis professional that is probably known within the tennis industry, but not necessarily known outside the tennis industry. So it could be really interesting to target him. Let's say if we're selling tennis apparel or fit tennis lessons, whatever we're doing. So now you have access to literally thousands of targeting possibilities that you can start testing and start using to generate better ROI, because most of these targeting options, well, your competitors don't know about them because they are not shown in the audience here, right? They could be shown here. Now, let's say I want to add, what was his name? Jamie Murray. Yeah, okay. Now I'm targeting him. So all these audiences are targetable on Facebook. You can use them to target them on Facebook. So there you go. Now you have access to literally thousands of audiences that you can target on Facebook, and think about them, search through them, and start testing more audiences and start winning and scaling your ROI on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked it, click the like button, maybe leave a comment if you have questions or something you want to ask, and I'll make sure to reply back to you. If you're also interested in learning more on Facebook ads and on e-commerce marketing and how to market a business, you can subscribe, because we are adding new videos every single week. We're adding one video every week talking about a specific topic of marketing for e-commerce. So if you're interested, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.